Motor. Let's talk about the overall market scenario. Time to welcome our market guest, Sachin Shah, fund manager at Emkay, now who joins in. Sachin, hi, good morning. Let's start with some individual stocks and the way some of these are shaping up. Let's start with Eicher Motors itself. What's your in-house call on that one?
Well, Eicher Motors has been delivering exceedingly good numbers quarter after quarter, month after month for now more than 2-3 years. Their bike product has been doing exceedingly well. And of course now we are also seeing some signs of the revival on the commercial vehicle and the bus segment for them, as we just heard a few minutes back. And I think the only the outlook on the business still continues to be very strong. It's just that now the valuations have become fairly rich from here on. Maybe a year back they were looking a little better, but now from here on, so of course the return expectations from will have to be little muted. It can't be like what it has been for the last 2 years in this stock. So that's the only thing that one needs to keep in mind.
Generally, what is the sense you're making of this index not being able to tide over 8,400? Is it just a near-term hesitation? You see it quite confidently crossing over at all?
Well, if you see the overall undertone in the market is fairly buoyant, right? And we have seen that in the last, I think in the last less than 3 or 4 weeks, index itself has moved up by almost 7.5–8%. And if you just see the last 1 month, it's moved up by almost 7.5–8%, which is also quite significant, right? And the undertone still continues to remain very buoyant. We've seen FIIs investing more than $1 billion in the month of October. We've seen the domestic mutual fund continuing to get again close to $1 billion. We've seen the selling intensity from the insurance side being very, very low now. I think the selling in the month of October from the insurance side was less than probably 1,000–1,500 crores, right? So and we are also seeing a lot of, when we talk to a lot of investors, a lot of them are just fence sitting and just waiting to enter the markets at a better valuations or at some correction. So in that sense the undertone continues to be very buoyant. Plus the macro factors like the oil continues to be very, very subdued at sub $80 or most of the other commodity prices. So I think it's just a question of valuations now and the earnings momentum catching up in the third and the fourth quarter, and the valuations being a little reasonable. So that's the major issue rather than any major concern on the markets overall.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of more stocks then, Sachin. Unitech and JP Associates both down 5% today and have corrected quite a bit. Would you take a punt on these two or would you avoid them?
So frankly, when we do our investing in a portfolio management services, we generally don't bet on real estate sector per se, and we don't really invest in companies which have very high debt.
Okay. Will you buy Whirlpool?
Our avoid list.
It's risen already 18% today. Will you buy Whirlpool?
Whirlpool, the outlook is very, very good. The management has been talking about that they want to become the market leaders. The results in the last couple of quarters have also been good. But again, at this price, I think the valuations are fairly rich. So we would like to wait for a couple of more quarters before they actually start delivering the numbers. Because to invest at this price, I'm not too sure if and what if the numbers don't really come in the next 2 quarters. So you're buying something very expensive, and if there's a disappointment, there could be a severe hit from these prices.
Okay. Finally, what's your call on Ashok Leyland?
Well, Ashok Leyland, I think it's doing pretty okay, but I think we have to yet see a major revival in the commercial vehicle sector. Those signs are not yet very clear, so I think we would like to wait for a quarter or two before we actually make a very clear investment case for that company.
Will you buy sugar or is it just a 48-hour trader delight?
No, sugar is again, we avoid investing in commodity businesses.
Okay, that takes away a lot. Thank you very much, Sachin Shah, for joining us with your perspective on the markets and on a bunch of stocks.